So commuting, I find commuting actually is perhaps the best way to get fit if you live a reasonable amount away from your work, or if you can work out how to use some part of your commute to get fit. It works really well because you sort of have to do it if you once you've set up the routine and got your kit in various places, and you've created a routine. Once you're out of bed, you just have to get your running shoes on or get on your bike and get going. And once you're at work, if you don't have your car there, you sort of you've got to get home somehow, and that's usually easier to use the mode of transport that you use to get there. So here are a few tips anyway. Firstly, it's a great way to get fit. You can fiddle about with your getting to work and you're getting home from work, so that you can incorporate harder and easier training sessions to match whatever plan you've got to focus on your target event. It works best for cycling or running, and it just takes a bit of thinking around the problem. So I've got a few tips. If it's too far to work from where you live for you to either cycle or run, then you can use public transport. So get your bike on the train. I know this isn't possible for some people, but it is possible for a lot of people. Or get yourself on the train if you don't need a bike. And another option is to use your car, because it may well be that you live in an area that doesn't have a lot of traffic, and you can figure out a place where you can safely park your car and cycle or run the rest of the distance, and then do the opposite in the way home. I work with an athlete that does this very successfully, and is very effective. Saves a fortune in parking, and also a lot of time sitting in a car in busy traffic. So basically this approach saves time overall in your day. It may seem like a lot of effort, particularly in the morning if you have to get up earlier to get to work, but in actual fact, when you look at the overall thing, if you're wanting to train for an event, it's a good way of using the time that you would be sat effectively not doing a lot, and getting yourself fit and getting some fresh air and feeling better. It's brilliant, really. So yeah, saves time overall and saves money and gets you fit. And so you've then got 2 training sessions a day, and for endurance sport that can be a lot more effective than just the one. There have been some studies that show that the second session of the day is better than the first, often because your body's been primed to take activity. I can't remember the exact physiology, but the sort of thing that's gone into my head and then zipped back out of it. But I could look it up. But it is true. It's a recent study. And I found this to be the case for myself. Training twice a day was more effective than once, and the routine's great. So the best way to do it is to do your easiest session in the morning, and that way you won't be totally knackered when you get to work, and you'll be able to stop sweating quicker, because sometimes in the summer it's hard to stop sweating when you get to work if you've run too hard or cycled too hard. And just get your body going. You're getting some easy miles and you're making your body much more efficient by doing an increased volume that you might otherwise be able to do. In the evenings, you can work a bit harder on your way home. If you've got a busy commute and you're on the bike, then you can sprint away from traffic lights, assuming it's safe to do so. Sprint between junctions, and then when you get onto a traffic-free area, you can do longer sort of efforts. or you can take a detour and do a bit more in the evenings. That works well, and doesn't, like, even if you did an extra 30 minutes, an extra hour, you're adding a lot of volume to your week. And if you do that sort of once or twice a week, then you've got your long efforts in, which could leave you a weekend free to spend with your family if you wanted to. If you obviously it's best not to wear your the kit you've been commuting in, your training kit, at work. So it's most effective to, if you have a rest day or a very easy day, to transport a large amount of kit in on that day, and then keep it in your drawer, and then you've got that stuff there. You don't have to carry it with you. You don't have to keep it dry if it's like a rainy day and you're carrying it, and all the various problems that are associated with carrying stuff. I found the hardest thing to carry is shoes, actually, so definitely leave a pair of shoes at work, because they're a bit of a bulky item, and if you've got them in a rucksack they tend to stick in your back. So that's one little tip, really. Have a spare pair of shoes and just keep them at work all the time. Things like, you might say, well, I need to work at home, I need to transport stuff backwards and forwards. Well, this is a problem I've had and in the past, and I guess I still do if I travel. But it's amazing what you can do with things like Dropbox. A lot of companies don't like you to use certain types of cloud storage, but for things that aren't sensitive materials, you can use these types of tools. You can email yourself at home and then use your home computer. The only issue really is if you need sort of specific software. I used to use certain types of analysis software, so that type of thing couldn't be done at home, but I could work on reports or do various other things, and most people have remote email nowadays, so you can do your emails at home if you have to work at home. Obviously better if you don't. So be creative, and also, why not speak to your employer if you if you're having difficulty with the system. I mean, employers are into getting a good, healthy workforce. You're less likely to have time off work if you're fit and healthy, and they may be able to provide certain tools and give you access to online working capabilities. So just be a bit creative, think around the problem. And as a sort of adjunct to that, really, is that you'll be saving quite a lot of money by doing this, potentially. And so I used to like to spend it on bike components, because I thought, well, I can have this because it's free, so because I've saved all the money by not using petrol or train fares or whatever. But the other thing that is obviously quite justifiable is to spend some money on software that you might be able to use on your home computer. It allows you to edit things that you that work documents, so you can work at home if you need be, or ways of transporting your clothes, extra clothes that you just use for work and leave at work. Gym membership, if you want to sort of go to the gym as well during your working day. Well, I mean, basically you've got a bit of extra money that you wouldn't have otherwise had, so you can use it to treat yourself or whatever. So basically it's a win-win, and there you go. Get on your bike, get your running shoes on, use that commute to get yourself fit, and let me know how you get on. If you've enjoyed this video and found it useful, then subscribe, please. Or you can find loads of other information on my website, enduranceBikeandRun.com. Okay, good luck, bye.